Good evening, councillors, staff and ladies and gentlemen in the gallery and those listening at home. Please be seated while Councillor Betts delivers the blessing. Thank you.
Almighty God and Father, as we've gathered for this council meeting, we first of all want to thank you for your many and abundant blessings to us and to our city. We thank you for the gift of life itself and thank you for the health and strength to be here. We thank you for the privilege of being involved in the high calling of governing our city, and we pray that we might consider everything on its merits and consider the well-being of the people of this city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Councillor Betts. Before we begin, I will acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people and pay my respects to their elders, both past and present. It is now 7 o'clock and I declare the meeting open. There are no announcement of visitors. I'll just read the disclaimer. Members of the public are cautioned against taking any action on council decisions on items in which they may have an interest until such time as they've seen a copy of the minutes of the meeting or have been advised in writing by city staff. Just to make you aware, we are live streaming, so please note that all council meetings are digitally recorded and live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, except for confidential agenda items, during which time the live stream will be temporarily suspended. Thank you. Record of attendance. We have one apology from Councillor Baynes this evening. Other than that, we are all here. Any disclosures of interest? No? Thank you. Announcements by presiding member, just a couple to make. First of all, several councillors and I attended the 45th anniversary of our local Gosnells State Emergency Service on Saturday night, which was a lovely event, well organised by the things, and the city, of course, provided a grant for that to happen, so that was great that we were able to contribute to the state emergency celebrating 45 years. It was also good to have Ken Clark and Terry Reynolds there, who are both founding members of the SES, as well as Jim Ridgewell, I believe. So Jim received a 45 years, was recognised for 45 years of service. So we were presented with a little medallion of gratitude. So give that to the staff to put into a good spot. So congratulations to them, 45 years, that's awesome. Are they looking for volunteers if anyone's interested? Also, with the recent federal elections, I take the moment to congratulate our new federal members of parliament in the lower house. Mr Matt Keogh was re-elected, Mrs Anita Mascarenas, who now is in the city of Gosnells from the boundary changes, which takes in Langford and Beckenham. Mr Sam Lim re-elected, and Trish Cook, who is the representative for the new seat of Bullwinkle. So congratulations to all of those. Can't congratulate the senates yet because they haven't been fully declared, I believe. Close to though, I believe. So anyway, moving on. Tomorrow, looking forward to the opening of our youth entertainment space in Sutherlands. It'd be great to see that. If anyone wants to come along, it starts at 5:30 and hopefully we can all make it because that's been a long time in the making, and I look forward to officially having that open for the public. So that is all I have, thank you. Reports of delegates, are there any? Councillor McDonald, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to report that on the 23rd of April, I attended the South East Metropolitan Zone meeting along with yourself, Madam Mayor, and our CEO. And among the agenda items was a resolution that WALGA amends its advocacy position on elections and supports all-in, all-out elections. That resolution was carried. The resolution came after the City of Gosnells Ordinary Council meeting held back on the 8th of April 2025, where the motion was passed here also unanimously. So the matter was recently noted at the most recent State Council meeting, and it will now be assessed and returned back to the State Council for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Are there any other reports from delegates? No, thank you. We now move on to question time for the public, as well as receiving of public statements. We have a number of questions this evening. First, we have Leah Sislak, if you'd like to come forward and ask your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I ask all my questions tonight?
Sorry. I'll get you to ask. Yes, you should be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Question one, can I thank the City for running the Plants for Locals event again this year?
Yes, you can.
Thank you for running this event. It's a really great initiative from the city, not only for the plants, but for the activities the staff put on at the homestead. Question 2, with the Plants for Locals event, what was stopping people from applying for more than one pack with different emails?
I can probably, they've got to show ID when they get there for that, and that gets ticked off the system, so they shouldn't be able to apply for 2.
Okay. Could the city adapt the website to lock in their COG address when registering, or allow residents the option to tick a box whether they'd like a second pack if all the plants haven't been allocated?
I'll direct that to Mr Glover will answer that question, thank you.
Through you, Madam Mayor, the city will probably include the tick box option for next year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Glover. With the upgrades to the Wilpon Park in Beckenham, the site plan on Have Your Say states there will be existing trees retained. Is this correct?
Mr Glover, thank you.
Through you, Madam Mayor, yes.
If this is the case, then why has all the existing trees been cleared from the site?
That's a good question. Thank you, Mr Glover.
Through you, Madam Mayor, I think there's some confusion. I've got photographs of all the trees there. They've been kept.
The site plan also shows new trees to be planted with quite large canopy. Are they going to be large established trees or smaller ones that will grow to a large canopy?
Mr Glover, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The new trees will be 45 litre specimens. On the concept plan, we do show them as the mature size of the canopy, and that's just so we don't plant them too close together.
Thank you. Next question.
Thank you, Mr Glover. Can the city put lighting throughout the park for night time to deter undesirables?
Is that a part of the plan, Mr Glover?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Either end of the park actually has a street light, and we're proposing to replace the old luminaires with the new LEDs, and we'll see if that's sufficient before and then review it.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Thank you, Mr Glover. With the upgrades to Beckenham Station and the removal of the William Street crossing, will the city put speed bumps along Seven Oak Street near Beckenham and Teal Street to slow down the traffic that will use Seven Oak Street as a racetrack to access Albany Highway?
Thank you, Mr Glover.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No. However, the city will monitor the traffic once everything returns to normal, and any speeding issues will be addressed then.
Thank you, Mr Glover.
Thank you. Next we have Mr Brendan Cherry, who has 5 questions. I'm being very lenient tonight. Apologies to everyone else.
It's nice to finally get a get out of jail free card. It's my first one for the year. The first question is, does the City of Gosnells have any plans to put time-restricted parking on the streets around the new Nicholson Road station, as it has done at other stations in the council area?
I think I know the answer to this, but I'll let Mr Glover say it in a more technical way than I would. Thank you.
All good. Question 2.
No, sorry, Brendan.
Sorry.
Mr Glover's going to...
Oh, sorry.
Through you, Madam Mayor. The city will not be installing time-restricted parking prohibitions at this stage. We will, however, be installing temporary no parking or stopping prohibitions on the left-hand side of the route heading into the station. PTA will be funding the provision of parking embayments on the opposite side of the road, which will get constructed within the next 12 months. The city will be monitoring the performance of the prohibitions once the station opens, and we'll adjust to suit the traffic conditions.
Thank you, Mr Glover. Question 2. Is the City of Gosnells aware of road surface issues on Town Centre Drive in Thornley, particularly outside house number 88? These issues have seen the road base suddenly increase following Water Corporation works a few weeks ago. What will Council do to address that?
Thank you, Mr Glover.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The city has provided a temporary repair to the damaged pavement which was caused by Water Corporation. The city is working with Water Corporation to complete the permanent repair, and I actually got advised just before I came in that they will have it done before the end of the week.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mr Glover. Question 3. How many political advertising signage was confiscated by the City of Gosnells during the recent state and federal elections?
And Mr Bradbrook will be able to answer that one. He's the Director of Business Services. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We confiscated 17 signs, 5 in the state election and 12 in the federal election.
Thank you, Mr Bradbrook. I probably won't ask question 4 because that's already been mentioned on the socials, so I'll move on from that one. Question 5, or now 4. Does the City of Gosnells approve the spraying of a toxic substance known as glyphosate from a moving vehicle without owner's consent, considering owners have fruit and vegetable trees in their front yards?
Thank you, Mr Glover, for answering that one. Thank you.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. The city uses a glyphosate-based product called Roundup as part of its weed management strategy. The chemical is used strictly in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and consequently is not dangerous or toxic to the public. If a resident requests that the city doesn't spray in front of their property, they are included in the city's non-spray register, and these areas do not receive glyphosate spray. It is noted that this option is available for all chemicals that the city uses in the environment, not just the glyphosate.
Thank you, Mr Glover. And when will the new Ranford Road bus lanes project be completed in full?
Just leave him standing up. Thank you, Mr Glover.
The new Ranford Road bus lanes will be made operational once Main Roads has completed the line marking and the adjustments to the traffic signals at Nicholson Road. The city has completed all of its works. However, I understand the line marking may be complete and we may be able to remove the cones tomorrow.
Also, thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you very much. That's what happens when he hasn't been here for a couple of months. He writes all his questions. Next we have Mr Leon Walker. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Is it reasonable that residents, ratepayers and electors should expect a councillor to nominate the point of order when rising to a point of order at an OCM?
I'll get the CEO to respond to that, but first I'll say that sometimes I get a bit lost in the point of orders as to which one it is as well, so there's a lot of them to consider, but so not everyone is across them all the time. So thank you, Mr CEO.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, the standing orders are a complex piece of legislation which we operate under, and it's certainly encouraged that councillors understand the standing orders, but I can certainly understand why there might be some confusion at some stages.
Thank you. Your next question.
What assistance, if any, does the Local Government Act, any regulation empowered by the Act, or any local law mandate that a neurodivergent person be given if elected to council?
Mr CEO, respond to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no legislation that I'm aware of that requires that specifically in terms of the Local Government Act and the regulations, but certainly the city's happy to assist councillors and members of the audience if they've got particular needs and would like them addressed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr Walker. Next we have Daniel Stevens. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. My question's about community development. It's about the program, the subsidy for residents to have a street party. Council will subsidise it. I think this isn't a very good use of tax ratepayers' money. And what we remember last year, what Councillor Dewhurst done with the having a get-together as a suburb. It's better to have get-togethers as a suburb. And I commend Councillor Dewhurst for organising the Mannington meeting and so that's why I think we shouldn't have these. So my question is, why does council continue with the subsidy for residents of the city to have a street party with their neighbours instead of doing the events suburb to suburb?
Thank you for your question. The Director for Community Engagement, Ms Glenda Blake, will respond to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do both. So we have our street meet and greets. We provide a very small subsidy. It's meant to be, the objective is for that program to be community-led and community members identify if they want to have a local street event to encourage neighbours to get to know each other. It's a very, I think we allocate about $11,000, it might even be less, so it's not a hugely expensive program. And people who run those programs also get a $50 voucher from Neighbourhood Watch, so it's an attempt to create, you know, community safety within local neighbourhoods and small events in streets and parks. In addition to that, we do have the suburb by suburb program. It used to be called Your Neighbourhood, where we'd invite rangers and local police and Neighbourhood Watch. We've combined that now with the Sunset Cinemas because we're always mindful of ratepayers' money and spending it wisely. So now at the beginning of each Sunset Cinema, which is run across a number of suburbs, we have that community safety aspect incorporated into that program.
Oh, he's gone. Thank you, Mr Stevens. We now move on to public statement time. Just have the one from, sorry. It's regarding item number 13 on page 32 regarding the Southern River Precinct 3B1. Jade Slate, if you could come forward, thank you.
Good evening, councillors. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in regard to item 13.2.1, the Southern River Precinct 3B Structure Plan. I'm speaking in support of the officer's recommendation, and in doing so will further highlight the positive vegetation impact that the structure plan proposes. As outlined in the officer's report, the potential for tree retention within the structure plan area was explored early on in the project. However, our project engineer confirmed that this was not feasible due to fill requirements. Analysis revealed that approximately 1 to 1.5 metres of fill will be required across the site due to the presence of groundwater. Furthermore, the option of realigning the proposed road reserves is not practical due to the structural root zones associated with mature trees. If these root zones are damaged due to the construction of roads, it is highly likely that the tree's structure will be compromised. The significance of the Southern River foreshore and associated conservation category wetland has been captured in the structure plan design. The structure plan proposes 1.8 hectare of Parks and Recs Reserve, which will include the Southern River and associated 50-metre buffer. As outlined in the foreshore management and riparian restoration strategies, this area will be heavily revegetated, enabling a massive environmental benefit for the area. Notwithstanding the vegetation retention within this reserve, the structure plan proposes 0.73 hectare of local open space. The layout of this is depicted in the landscape plan prepared by UDLA. When designing the structure plan, the environmental impact and arboricultural assessments were referred to. These assessments concluded that only a few patches of vegetation were worth retaining, with the rest of the site classified as completely degraded. As such, it has been ensured that the good patches of vegetation are located within the proposed public open space and recreation reserve. The design approach of the local open space is to maintain and emphasise the existing natural beauty of the Southern River site. This will be achieved by retaining all the existing trees, coupled with the establishment of garden beds and turfed areas, as well as trees along the interface with the proposed road reserve. The landscape plan also depicts street trees proposed along every road reserve at a density of at least 1 tree per property frontage. When combined, the proposed Parks and Recs Reserve and local open space will provide residents with an opportunity for a place to enjoy, coupled with a heavily revegetated river reserve that significantly enhances the Southern River. Councillors, I hope that this provides assurance that we have tried to retain as many trees as possible and that it is evident that the proposed structure plan provides a suitable balance between tree retention and much needed residential development. We encourage that Council supports the structure plan to enable the delivery of housing in a time of need. We strongly recommend against another deferral, and if councillors are of the mind to defer, we would refer that a refusal is granted instead. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, and spot on, 3 minutes, well done. Amazing. There are no more questions, there are no more public statements, sorry. Moving on to the confirmation of the minutes. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Islam to move that and Councillor McDonald to second that. Are there any questions, councillors? No? If you'd like to cast your vote, please. Thank you, that has been carried. Moving on to the receiving of petitions and presentations. Are there any? Councillor Islam, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We received a petition from RSL Gosnells. RSL Gosnells, they're requesting their furniture to be repaired and replaced. And I request the CEO to review the request and provide an update to the elected members before taking appropriate action. Thank you.
Get a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Deputy Mayor Williamson. Councillors, who please cast your vote. Thank you. Thank you, that has been carried. Are there any applications for leave of absence? No, thank you. Questions of which due notice has been given. There is one from Councillor Deputy Mayor Serena Williamson regarding the Community Waste Recovery Facility, which is item 10.1. Councillor Deputy Mayor, would you like to ask your question? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So I have 5 questions. The first question is, could you please advise at what stage the city is at in developing the community waste recovery facility?
Thank you. Mr Glover will respond to that. Thank you.
Through you, Madam Mayor. The development of the community waste recovery facility is separated into 5 stages. The feasibility and concept design stage, site investigation stage, environmental approval stage, detailed design stage, and then construction. Stage 1 and 50% of stage 2 are complete. A Section 18 approval under the Aboriginal Heritage Act 1972 is required for the remainder of stage 2 because the site investigation works that are left require ground disturbance.
Thank you. Next question.
Thank you. I think the director's answered the second question, but I'll say it anyway and see if he has anything to add. What approvals are required for this project?
Thank you, Mr Glover.
Through you, Madam Mayor, there's plenty more approvals. So the Heritage Section 18 approval is through DPLH. Then we require environmental and technical approval. That's a works approval through DWER and a traffic approval through Main Roads. And finally, we require a planning approval for public works exemption through DPLH.
Thank you. Your next question.
Thank you. Question 3 is, which applications have been submitted, which applications have been approved, and which ones remained outstanding?
Thank you.
Through you, Madam Mayor. The Section 18 approval has been submitted. It was submitted to DPLH in March 2025. There is a minimum 70 days required for approval, and that didn't commence until WAPC had authorised it, which was yesterday. The works approval and traffic approval cannot be submitted until outstanding site investigations are complete, which cannot be progressed until the Section 18 approval is confirmed. DWER has advised that works approvals are currently taking up to 6 months to obtain. MRWA traffic approval will be progressed and finalised during this period. We'll do them in parallel. The public works exemption through DPLH, one would hope would be the shortest term, cannot be submitted until all the others have been completed.
Next question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Glover. The next question is, what is the time frame for the submission of applications for outstanding approvals?
Thank you.
Through you, Madam Mayor, we would anticipate that the approvals will be all completed and hopefully back to us by mid to late 2026.
Thank you, Mr Glover. The final question, question 5. What is the current timeline to commence and complete construction of this facility?
Thank you, Mr Glover.
Through you, Madam Mayor, based on those approvals, it's a 9-month construction timeframe, so we would hope that the earliest would be early 2027 and the latest will be mid-2027.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions, Deputy Mayor. Moving on to item number 13, there's nothing to be brought forward, reports of committee meetings now. So 13.1.1, the Major Projects Progress Report. Can I get a mover? Councillor Dewhurst to move that and Councillor Adams to second that. Councillor Dewhurst, Councillor Adams, would anybody else have any questions on this item? Thank you, councillors. Will you please cast your vote? Moving on, thank you, that has been carried. Moving on to 13.2.1, the Southern River Sub-Precinct 3B1 Structure Plan for lots 104, 1522, 1523, 1524 and 1525 Leslie Street in Southern River. Can I get a mover for this? Deputy Mayor, Councillor Serena Williamson, and to move that, and Councillor Zhang to second that. Deputy Mayor, would you like to speak to this item? Councillor Zhang? Councillor Dewhurst, thank you.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Look, I do support the recommendation from the staff. I'm quite proud of the council to actually to ask the questions that they asked, and and I'm really impressed with the response that we've got back. So I think we can do this in future, and perhaps the planning staff, when they're dealing with the applicants in the future, not particularly these ones, but other ones as well, that, you know, we are a green council and that's where we want to be and want to keep it that way. So, yeah, so I'm very happy with this and we'll support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Betts. I too will speak in favour of this, and I just wanted to express our gratitude, as you have, to the staff as well as to the applicant, in the fact that they have gone back and they have tried to find ways to retain trees, because it's no secret that we as a council do get absolutely smashed with people wanting to keep trees, and we agree with it. So any way we can retain trees, we want to work towards doing that. So it's fantastic that the applicant has looked at it and the staff have gone back on it. And yes, I hope to see that that does happen more often in the future as well. So thank you. Does anybody else want to speak to this item? No? Councillors, you'd like to cast your vote. Thank you. Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to 13.2.2, the development application for the commercial vehicle parking at 26 Terence Street in Gosnells. Can I get a mover for that, please? Councillor Adams to move that, and Councillor Islam to second that. Councillor Adams would like to speak to this. Councillor Islam, would you like to speak to this? Would anybody else like to speak to this item? Councillors, would you like to cast your vote? Thank you. Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to 13.2.3, the WALGA draft advocacy petition, the development assessment panels and significant development pathway. Can I get a mover for this, please? Councillor Singh to move this, and Councillor Lloyd to second this. Councillor Singh, would you like to speak to this? Councillor Lloyd? Councillor Betts, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think it's worth putting on public record, and it is in the report, that many people or applicants have actually chosen to go through the council route rather than the development application panels, because the council works so efficiently with these things. So I think that's a credit to the staff, and I just want to put that on public record. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Betts. I have an amendment to this item in that one of the items is where the staff don't support the recommendation of increasing the number of members, local government members, so I wanted to change that. So the staff recommendation be amended by the addition of the following words after the word report, subject to feedback to WALGA supporting an increase in the number of local government members on DAP from 2 to 3. And this is for the following reasons: that currently DAP consists of 3 professional members and only 2 elected local government representatives, and this creates an imbalance. Equal representation, 3 professional and 3 elected members should be supported to ensure communities are fairly represented through those that have elected. Local government representatives bring valuable local knowledge and accountability, and it's always a better outcome when you have local government members in the room when the decision making is happening, if that happens at equal capacity. In the event of a tied vote, the presiding member, who is a professional, could be giving a casting vote, and have it as planning decisions be based on merit. Tied votes should be uncommon, so I'm seeking a seconder for that amendment. Councillor Dewhurst is happy to second that, and I'll just go on to speak a little bit more on that, in that as you said, Councillor Betts, we are fortunate that a lot of the DAP applications, a lot of people don't go to DAP, they come straight to the city, because obviously we'll do things a lot quicker, and we're more than capable of doing it here at the city, so it's great to see that we are dealing with a lot more DAP applications. But the problem is that there are times when they do go to DAP, and always the councillors from the local governments are outnumbered. And that's not a very fair situation, because look at us here, we have 13 of us here to make a decision, and this is a much higher level, and then we're only allowed to have 2 people in the room, which could affect a lot more people. So I think it's only fair that we advocate to have those numbers increased. Yes, I understand that it would still come down to a casting vote by the professional, but I think that the best thing is to have as many voices from local government in the room as you can have. We are here to support the local community, and I know a number of people that have said, how fair is that? That's unfair. If there's 3, you're always going to be outnumbered. So there are people in the community that do understand this, and they do think it is unfair, and I think it is unfair as well. So I think the more representation we can have as local government members, the better. So I ask for your support on this amendment. Thank you. Councillor Dewhurst, would you like to speak to this?
Yeah, look, I support this, and I always laugh when people say the 3 professional other members, because all they are is someone with a job, and they're automatically called a professional. So Yeah, so I doubt that they, that they may have knowledge of the industry, but they probably don't know, wouldn't actually have the term of professional behind them, because some of the decisions that have come out from those from JDAPs and DAPs have been quite questionable. So, and against what the public opinion is. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody? Thank you, Councillor Good.
Your amendment I fully support. A couple of key critical points is you're right about fairness, the word fairness. Having been on a development assessment panel for quite some time now, I think even Deputy Mayor Williamson, you've been on a development assessment panel, and Councillor Baines has as well. And when it was a 3 versus 2, as in 2 local government, there was many times when I'd seen a comment along the lines of, well, the other 3 outsiders outrank you. And I never saw it that way. And sometimes the perception was if you could make it 3 and 3. And I particularly enjoyed your last comment, in the event of a tied vote, the presiding member, who is a professional, could give a casting vote. Well, in all the years I've been on development assessment panel, the professional presiding member have actually been professionals, because when you're in the room and we get to talk to them about their backgrounds, they're very, very strong. Having said that, Councillor Dewhurst, I think you made this, and I may be wrong here, but either you or Councillor Betts made the point of our staff, in terms of the quality of the staff. And one of our previous planning officers, Ms Shaw, ended up becoming a training person. Terrific knowledge of the Planning Act. And so when Director Terence would have his staff attend the development assessment panel, we were able to ask questions, and even the professionals on there could glean information, not only from Ms Shaw, but also Mr Lafort, who will be coming back soon. These guys know their stuff, and even the current gentleman. It's good to have professional people with planning backgrounds. You could argue that the elected people have to get up to speed. I mean, my background's in finance. I wasn't a planning person, but I've had to look at the manuals, go to training courses, and try to understand it. But I do say to my fellow councillors, all the times I've been on a development assessment panel, I've never once said to myself, oh, I don't like that, I don't want a KFC or a Red Rooster, or I don't want a childcare centre there. I just threw it out of my mind and went, no, does it meet the requirements and the guidelines? Is it fair for what's been put up? And our local staff have done some terrific work. The assessment panel's done some good work, and I think we'd have some pretty reasonable outcomes. I am looking at Deputy Mayor Williamson there, and she's nodding her head, but the point I'm saying is it's robust, we have considered opinions, but I support your amendment because, again, it's got to look balanced. And the perception is always, what are we doing? Do we have a balanced view? And what happens if we have the wrong people on who actually don't know and don't care? Well, luckily, we actually haven't. We've had, well, I do, and I'm sure the others have as well. And again, I thank the staff for their expertise. So, yeah, good move. I love the fact of the positioning to tell them where we're at. And you could argue, since it came in all those years ago, has it been all that effective? We'd like to think so. You look at all the data, it's very interesting data, but I think this is a good move. So I applaud you for the amendment. I fully support it. And again, if it makes the perception stronger that at least we're equal in the room, then it's up to the powers of the argument to make sure you make the right decision based on planning guidelines, not your individual perceived bias. So I support it.
Thank you, Councillor Good. Would anybody else like to speak to this item? No? Okay, I'll just quickly close then, and as you've all mentioned, we do have great staff here, but this position statement is for the wider sector, and not every local government has such great staff as what we do. A lot of them don't. Anyway, yes, it is for the wider sector, and I think this is a fair approach, and we do have the local knowledge, so that's what we rely on for these situations. So, councillors, I ask you to support the amendment. Thank you. Thank you. That has been carried. We now put that back with the original item. Is there any debate on the original item with the amendment? Thank you. I'll ask you to vote again. Thank you. I said that was carried before it was carried. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. Now move on to the 13.5.1. for the tender for 04-2025 supply and delivery of crushed limestone. Can I get a mover for that, please? Thank you, Councillor McDonald, seconded by Councillor Lloyd. Thank you. Any debate on this item, councillors? No? Thank you. If you could please cast your vote. Thank you. Thank you. That has been carried. Now move on to 13.5.2, the proposed position statement for bushfire management on Crown land. Can I get a mover for this? Deputy Mayor Councillor Serena Williamson to move this, and a seconder, Councillor Kylie Dalton. Thank you. Councillor Williamson, would you like to speak to this item?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to thank the staff for their work in preparing this and their work over a long period of time advocating to get to this point. We've had the unfortunate recent fires, and the first thing residents say is, why wasn't that bush cleared, or why was it allowed to get to that stage? I've been fielding those sorts of questions, and staff have done a really great job at communicating that back to the community as well, that we are doing everything we can. We're trying to reduce the fire risk in the area, but this now formalises our position and what we're doing to try and push that further for changes in legislation. So again, I'd just like to thank the staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Is there any... Councillor Dewhurst, thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo the words of the Deputy Mayor, but I'm always worried that when you've got government saying that do as we say and not as we do is very dangerous, and it leads to all sorts of issues. So I think if there's a law for the for local governments and other parties and businesses and everyone like that, well, the law should be also made for the state as well. So I think it's very dangerous, and I've got to say, well done, guys, for taking this position.
Thank you. I've got an amendment on this one, actually. So I'll just read that out to you, that the Chief Executive Officer be requested to prepare an item for the WALGA South East Metropolitan Zone meeting, seeking endorsement of the position statement as a WALGA advocacy position for the following reasons. Bushfire risk presented by Crown land is an issue that would affect most local governments. Private landowners and local governments are required to manage bushfire risk on their land. Further, the owners of the land in bushfire-prone areas can often be required to build a higher standard so structures are more resistant to bushfires. Often areas are designated as bushfire-prone only because of the extent of vegetation on Crown land. Given the requirements that apply to local governments and private landowners, the state government should also be required to manage bushfire risk on Crown land, particularly where that land is in close proximity to residential developments. Can I get a seconder for my amendment? Thank you, Councillor McDonald. And just to speak a little bit further on it, most of it's within that. It just makes sense that the state government is required to look after their land, and we have plenty of it around here. So it would be good for them to do the same as what we do and make sure that they mitigate any bushfire sections. And this asking the CEO to present this to the WALGA is not to negate any of our own advocacy. We'll still be doing that if this goes through. It's just to get that extra voice to it as well. So because I think it's an important issue, and I believe that it would be affecting the wider sector, not just ourselves. So I seek your support of my amendment. Thank you. Councillors, would anybody like to speak to the amendment? Okay, if you could please cast your vote on the amendment. Thank you. Someone hasn't voted yet. Thank you, that has been carried. Now we put that back with the original item. Councillors, any debate on the original item? No, if you could please cast your vote on the original item together with the amendment. Thank you. Thank you, that has been carried. We'll now move on to item 13.5.2, the 2025-26 differential rates and minimum rates. Can I get a mover for this, please? Councillor Islam to move this and Councillor Betts to second this. Councillor Islam, would you like to speak to this item?
Please, thank you. For the benefit of everyone here in the chamber and those watching online, can I ask some question for clarity, please? First question is, this is on your proposal. to be advertised, not a final rate increase for the year 2026. The final budget, the rate and increase will come back to the council for approval. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Next question is, the rate notice contains two components. One is about emergency services levy, another one is about local government charges. Can I ask through you, Madam Mayor, how much will this be for the state emergency services levy for the year 2026?
I'm not sure. I'll ask Director Bradbrook if he knows the answer to that. I heard it's gone up substantially.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't know the exact number, but it was a little over 6% from memory that the increase is for next year.
All right, thank you. The local government charge also has a breakdown of rubbish and recycling services charges as well. Have we decided for the year 2026 how much the rubbish and recycling services charge for the year 2026?
Mr Bradbrook, have you got the response to that?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Fees and charges for next year are still being finalised, so the draft fees and charges will be distributed to council hopefully by the end of this week, so that you can have a look at them and provide feedback. But the fees and charges themselves won't get adopted until council adopts the budget.
Thank you. Do you have any more?
All right, thank you. So we understand this is not about increasing the rates now, rather this is about proposing the rates to be advertised as required by the Local Government Act. Nonetheless, we've just heard that there may be potentially increase of state emergency services levy, potentially maybe more than 4%, and also rubbish and recycling. I understand looking at the previous increases is always over the rate increases. So what it means is this does have impact on ratepayers, not only 4% increase. In reality, many will be paying potentially more than 4% increase that we are proposing here. I've spoken to a lot of residents who are doing it tough with rising inflation and severe housing shortages and cost of living at record highs. We as a city must do everything we can to keep the rates as low as possible. While I acknowledge the staff wages and construction materials costs have increased, we must also consider the real impact on households, some of whom are struggling to afford basic necessities such as food. Therefore, I respectfully request the CEO to review the city's discretionary spending and identify potential savings with the goal of keeping the next year's rates increase closer to the inflation rate, plus potentially 0.5% for trees before the 2026 budget is presented to the city. Thank you.
Councillor Islam, just 1 minute. Okay, thank you very much. Is there any further debate on this item? Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst.
Yeah, thanks. Obviously, this is just a quick question.
Sorry, you just... Sorry, Carol, as you were. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Obviously, this is going out for comment, then comes back, and then we decide, council, whether we're going to accept it or not. I do have an issue with it, and one of the issues I have is the 20% concession on rural UV rates. Currently applies to landowners in rural areas. So, which has 3 designations of what those landowners are. So it says there is currently 5 properties that receive 20% concession of the rural UV rate. And if we're saying that let's abolish that now, they can pay their full rates on their property, which equates to around about a jump around about $8,000 per property. I would like to sort of have some more information on that. I mean, I think I know which properties they are, and these are actually farming properties who get this general concession because you certainly wouldn't be able to apply this to other rural properties where people have got farms and stuff. I do know of at least 3 of them are operating as actual farms. So what, apart from the $41,000 benefit the city gets and the $8,000 hit that they get, would that be reasonably seen as fair? I'd just like to get some more information on that, please.
Yeah, Mr Bradbrook, you're able to speak on that with maybe listing what properties, not the actual addresses, I guess. I'm not sure how you're going to do that, but anyway.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll do my best. It doesn't actually work out to be an $8,000 increase on each of those properties. So there are 5 that are affected by the by removing that concession. Two of those properties, one of the larger land holdings in the city, are affected the most, and their component of that increase is approximately $38,000. So the remaining $3,000 is shared across the other three properties. One of them increases by from $3,500 increases by approximately $800. Another one that is currently paying about $2,800 will increase by $690, and the final property, which is currently paying $1,745 in rates, would increase by $436. So it's not an $8,000 hit on each of those 5 properties.
Thank you. Do you have a further question, or you want to speak to the item?
I do. Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. It's not going $8,000 per everybody. Have we had a discussion with the person that's going to get hit with the $30,000 one? Do you think it would be advisable to have a discussion with that person, and actually to advise him that he's going to get hit with a $36,000?
So I'll get the CEO to respond to that. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I'm not sure it's a he, is it? But
Definitely not a
I think
he.
it was gender specific, or yeah. Look, I suppose this is for council to make the call, and if council makes the call to advertise, then we can certainly go to those people and let them know that this is proposed for them. Probably be the easiest way of going. Yeah.
Without bringing an amendment to this, can I ask council to please go and have that discussion with them, because they're going to yell leather, and I think it's only fair and reasonable that we have that discussion with them, because that's a big hit.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. I've just got a quick follow-up question. I wonder, that one that's going to get the biggest hit, Mr. Bradbrook, would you know what land area that is? How much land that is?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is enormous. I don't know exactly how large.
Around 1,200 acres, is it?
At least, I'd have thought. The Director of Planning and Development might know, because he's probably had some discussions around development potential.
Thank you, Mr.
It might be the one that's around 700 hectares, Madam Mayor, or it might not, depending who we're talking about.
Anyway, moving on. Is there any further debate or questions? Councillor Dewhurst, you've got another question?
I didn't get an answer. Will the city go and have a conversation with them?
Oh, sorry. I thought that Mr. CEO agreed to that.
Okay,
sorry. Thank you. Councillor Betts, thank you.
Madam Mayor, it's not actually on this directly, but I think the removal of that 20% discount serves as a financial incentive also for people who have land to actually move towards development. I understand the City of Perth actually has an extra penalty rate, or whatever you call that, for undeveloped land, or land that is vacant, that is not being something done with, so that it actually creates a financial incentive to get on with developing land. We've got the situation in the city of Gosnells where we've got so many patches of land, like on Wharton Road, we've got 2 blocks in Huntingdale that a person owns. It's all developed around it, but this patch, they don't want to develop it. They're not doing anything with it. If there was a penalty rate for not developing it, it would actually help to move things forward in the city. So I think for perhaps next year, in consideration of the variations of different types of rates, I think that might be something that's worth considering, to actually incentivise people to develop the land that is, say, residential, to actually get on with subdividing it rather than just sitting on it and forcing urban sprawl to go further afield. Thank you.
Councillor Dewhurst, you have a question?
Of those four properties, not the 5th property, would they likely get approval to subdivide their properties?
Mr. Bradbrook, would you know if they're all in the rural area or if they're in a residential area?
Madam Mayor, they are all located in rural areas.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so they're all located in rural areas, so could they subdivide in those lots? apart from the big one?
Madam Mayor, they're not zoned for residential development. Those three other properties. So I think you mentioned 4. There's actually 3 of them are not zoned for residential development. The other 2, which are in the single ownership, are.
Thank you. I just want to follow on from what Councillor Betts has said, in that we do have a lot of land bankers in this area, and it's great to have all that public open space and whatnot, or not public open space, but private open space. It looks great and all that, but the problem is, as you've said, is it does, while we're letting them, or while we're not encouraging them to develop, we're actually enabling urban sprawl, and that is a bigger problem across the whole metro area. There has been considerable talk amongst other people on other councils I've known that are advocating for a penalty rate to be introduced. I don't think the government has looked at it yet, but they are looking to do a penalty rate on people that are land banking. So I'm not sure if we can actually do it yet, but I know that there is some advocacy work going on with some of the bigger city councils on the land bankers, because that is a problem. So, councillors, is there any further debate or questions on this item? Who moved this? Councillor? Did you want to close the debate, Councillor Islam? Thank you.
No, thank you. I don't have any other comments. No, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Would you like to cast your vote? Thank you. That has been carried. We now have a motion of which previous notice has been given, and it's item 14.1, the Dust and Sand Drift, Southern River Business Park. Can I get a mover for this, please? Deputy Mayor Councillor Serena Williamson to move this, and seeking a seconder, Councillor Dalton to second it. Councillor Williamson, if you'd like to speak to your item, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The proposed motion is in the agenda, asking for 3 actions. The first action is to explore, as a matter of urgency, what additional measures the city could take to reduce dust and sand drift from the Southern River Business Park site, with a report on options and indicative costs presented to the next council meeting on the 27th of May. The second action is to document a process for dealing with future complaints about the Southern River Business Park for consideration by council. And the third action is review all previous complaints about dust and sand drift from the Southern River Business Park. The reason I'm moving this motion is because I'm aware there's been more than 70 complaints made to the city about the development of the business park. And as I understand it, those complaints have been then referred on to a contractor, and that contractor has been dealing with those residents, and the residents feel they're not being heard. Those complaints aren't being investigated. What we have in this situation is where the landowner is a bit of a complicated and unusual situation, where the landowner, where the developer, where the regulator, and we hold the contract with the contractor as well. So I think we owe it to our community to actually ensure that their complaints are being adequately dealt with for those that have made complaints at this stage. And then as we're all aware, we're nearing towards practical completion. When we hit that milestone, this problem isn't going to disappear immediately. It's going to take some time for actual built form construction to occur on the site. And in that time, those residents may still experience dust and sand drift if we don't take any further action. So councillors, I think the right thing to do here, we know the business park is making a profit. Part of doing business and making a profit is also following the requirements and minimising the impact on those existing residents. So I ask you to support this motion. It is likely there will be further costs, and we'll hear about what those costs will be in May, but it's the right thing to do by these residents. If this was an outside developer, they would have had these requirements, this would have been investigated, and perhaps the outcomes would have been different. So I think we need to take this step now to move forward, and perhaps we've learnt some lessons and we'll have some better systems put in place for next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Dalton as a seconder. Did you want to speak to the item? Would anybody else like to speak to the item? Councillor Dewhurst, thank you.
I certainly support exactly what you're saying. It's actually timely that actually you bring this up, but it's not the only place that's causing issue around the city. We've got other parts of Southern River having the same issues. Victoria Road, we've got one of the quarries up the hill here, who literally every time there's an easterly blowing and haven't got the water cart working, it just covers Lumen Christie and all the houses all the way down this area of dust. Saying the cities alone that, you know, we need to be doing something, well, you're right. Everyone needs to do something too. DEWA needs to do something about the quarry, and also the city needs to do something on Victoria Road and other developments around the area as well, by pushing that. And I don't think we push it hard enough as a regulator to stop the dust from going through. But our hands are reasonably tied. Depends who the authority is that's responsible for it. But I do congratulate the Deputy Mayor in regards to raising this issue, and I think we can, everyone can do better in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. Would anybody else like to speak to the item? Councillor Deputy Mayor Williamson, would you like to close? No, you're all good. Can you cast your vote on that then? Thank you. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. There is no urgent business, no confidential matters, and I declare the meeting closed at 7:54. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery. Thank you to those listening at home. Thank you, Brendan. And thank you, councillors and staff, for attending this evening. Thank you.